Because I'm trying to kind of figure out like when most people start thinking about it.
Well, I have a vivid memory when I was like 4, talking to my parents, freaking out that I'm gonna die at some point. So, I remember like that certainly happened. Like that was like my first existential crisis, I guess. I don't know.
I can just imagine you right now as a little 4-year-old having an existential crisis, like hyperventilating over the fact of it, like, oh God, we're gonna die.
I was really freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that really like continued continuously, you know, to my 20s. Like it was just like every now and then it would really strike me, you know, at night or something.
Yeah, where you're like, oh yeah, there's that thing that we got to do.
Yeah.
Later down the road sometime.
I would say I took it much more seriously maybe when I was about 18 or so. I started to get into Buddhism and stuff and think about like what living means. Like, mortality was a part of that.
Because the reason why I ask is because I as I think about it more, actually just for context, I know I started exactly when I was 9 in grade 5.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that you know I don't think I've ever heard in my life discussed is when people start thinking about it. So I you know, with the 2 subjects I get trapped in every week, I thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity to ask, because like all I've ever heard with most people is they just think it's a lot of the older people thinking about you still have so long to live, and do you think that there is, I guess, do you think that people should start thinking about it early? Should you shelter them from this idea? Is there any implications from one or the other? Because like when should you start introducing these ideas to people, and when and is there a criterion on when you're allowed to have these ideas per se? Because like so many people dismiss it, right?
I think if you're exposed to it when you're really young, you're less likely to think about it a lot. Like, because I lived on a farm and I was essentially exposed to death from like the time I was born. Like, there's always something being killed on a farm. Something's always, you know, there's a cougar comes in and murders half your sheep or like maims your dogs or something. Something's always happening on a farm. So I was kind of exposed to it from a really young age that like things die. And so it was just like really normalized. So I never like deeply pondered what those implications of, well, okay, this pig just got eaten by a cougar. What does that mean from the pig's point of view? He's not squeaking around anymore. He's like, where is he? What's he doing? Like that. I didn't actually start kind of thinking about that more deeply until, probably in my early 20s.
And did you think that like, but it doesn't to me at least, it doesn't seem like yes, you were exposed to that at a young age, but did it seem to help? Because based on your like first kind of foray into this discussion, it kind of seemed like it still affected you as like, say it affects Teo or say as it affects me. So does it really matter if you get exposed to it early?
I think it just helps to make it normal for a kid.
To accept it?
Yeah, to accept it. You're more accepting. Like, but I can't even say that because I have a lot of anxiety about my own death.
Yeah, like, I don't accept it.
I'm not accepting of it. I am constantly looking for a way out. I don't even know. But I'm like one person, so you can't really make a big conclusion off of that. But I would say, expose kids to it a bit younger because it's such a, hey, you have to do it. Everyone's going to do it. So it's just something that you may as well accept because it's going to happen. There's nothing you can do to change it.
I think I have a bit of a different view, and that, like, I think with most things with kids, and I've no kids. I've never really spent much time around kids, but
yeah, me either. If nobody knows,
I would think that it's probably just because everyone's different and every child is different. They have way different personalities, different development, and I think if they start talking about it, if they start, you know.
They're just a really macabre little 2-year-old. Just all
Yeah,
right.
totally. Yeah. Then you have. I think if you're a parent, then you're obligated to engage with it. You know, and not deflect it.
I think as a parent, you're obliged to kind of give them a realistic picture of the world rather than kind of like, oh no, this gerbil's at a farm. I never agreed with the whole idea of lying to kids if their animals die or something like that. It always bugs me. If they have questions, you should be honest with them because it's a trust building exercise essentially. Don't lie to people.
I definitely agree with the realism piece, but I also think it has to be like wieldable.
Yeah.
Like not like nihilistic. Like, yeah, we all die. It sucks. Deal with it. You know, I mean, yeah,
yeah,
but
tell
like
that to a kid. Yeah.
yeah, that there has to be some sort of moral that isn't a lie.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But
he's
it's
just sleeping
empowering
now
or
and he's
something.
peaceful.
Right.
I think
yeah.
those are really empowering. The peace I think is the most appealing part of dying. Is just what is it like to just be sleeping for the rest of time?
Some people think that.
Yeah. Peaceful. I'm sure it's peaceful. At the very least, it's peaceful.
See, I like my thing is always like I'm it's not the peace. Like I'm still terrified. I'm just like it's the curiosity.
I just like because I really mindfuck myself when I think of my own death because time stops when you're unconscious, essentially, from your point of view, and so I'm always like really like what really happens? Like, do you just wake up at the other end and there's something else, or like and 10 million years have elapsed or something, and like now your consciousness has just reassembled in a brain of someone? Like, I don't even know. Like, it's fucking crazy stuff to contemplate constantly.
Like that's actually one of my most interesting questions. A lot of people like to extrapolate and go bigger, or they go like, well, what's at the end of the universe? What is out there?